Hi, this is David Arietta, and today I wanted to talk more about bankruptcy options for small businesses, in particular for sole proprietors. The majority of my clients who are considering bankruptcy have a small business, and most of those businesses are sole proprietors, meaning someone who's operating with a fictitious business name. They're not a corporation, they've just been running the business through their own checking account, or maybe they have a special business account, but they've never formed a formal entity for the business. In those situations, I want to go over several things. Whether they intend to keep the business, whether or not it's viable, what are the projections for the future. In certain instances, it's just not a good decision to keep the business open. In other situations, we can reorganize the business. The key thing to note is in these situations, because it's a sole proprietorship, there's no separate entity like a corporation. That means that the person is the business and the business is the person essentially. So if we're considering a bankruptcy filing, we have to look at not only the business assets, but also the assets of the individual. And the debts of the individual get included and the debts of the company get included. So if we start talking about bankruptcy options, they really boil down to Chapter 7 and usually Chapter 13. Chapter 7 is kind of the starting point, a great alternative. Historically, everyone thinks Chapter 7 is the way to go for bankruptcy. It can be true, but we have to look at to make sure that there's no potential for the individual's property to be subject to the claims of a bankruptcy trustee or creditors in the bankruptcy filing. So by that I mean we have to make sure that all the assets of the individual are exempt and can be protected if we file a bankruptcy for the person doing business as the name of the company. So in that situation, if I have an individual that may have too many assets, then I may say Chapter 7 is not the best option. A better option would be Chapter 13. Now, Chapter 13 is a great option for small business owners, especially sole proprietors, if they're going to keep the business open, because we can propose a plan of reorganization to pay cents on the dollar to the creditors and reorganize that business going forward. It also gives the added protection of having the client in control of their assets and estate and not having a bankruptcy trustee in the picture and worrying about a bankruptcy trustee doing an investigation into financial affairs and possibly selling non-exempt assets. So those are the bankruptcy considerations for small businesses. Every case is different. I like to sit down with the client on a case-by-case basis. I want to look at, I have a questionnaire, I have a list of documents to get us. I want to look at where the business has been and where they expect to go with it, and really try to tailor one of these bankruptcy options for their situation. In some situations, I might decide that a bankruptcy option is not a great option, and then we'll have to look at some other ways to deal with the situation. If you have any questions, call David Arietta. My main office is in Walnut Creek. I deal with clients throughout the Northern California area, and you can reach us at 925-472-8000.